Two words. Two words is one word. Because I was about to say one word, and I'm like, damn, I can't count.
What up, though? All right, let me turn this damn music up.
Create dazzling crystal creations with Ooze Labs. Colorful labs. Set up and decorate.
Uh, Uhtred of Bevan Ball 420. Uh, Greetings. I don't celebrate any European holidays, so enjoy your Christmas, man. Juice Danger, what up, bro? Every month of every year has always taken away a good person. You know, when Francis Cress Wilson died, when Dr. Amos Nelson Wilson died, when Medgar Evers died, you know, it's just not 2020. Good people die all the time, man, year in and year out. You know, it's just everything seems to be under a microscope this year, but, you know, I mean, I grieve way more for Dr. Francis Cress Wilson than I did for Kobe Bryant. I'm just saying. You know, that's just me personally. Oh, that's in later years about this genocide and stuff. But man, most holidays are just like weird ass pagan sexual birthright fertility drunken homosexual orgy type deals. You know what I'm saying? You just got to know the origins of them. You know what I'm saying? Everything from Saint Valentine to uh, Saint Hallows Eve to you know, Krampus and Jesus and Santa Claus and Saint Nicholas and all these different people get rolled into one little ball, and then you get Christmas out of that shit. Although then you got to come back later on and add like some Easter sprinkling to kind of bring the Jesus thing back. But then with Easter, you kind of roll Jesus up with a magical rabbit that lays eggs, even though rabbits don't lay eggs. It's all about fertility, eggs. Women have eggs in their ovaries. Chickens come from eggs, uh, fertility. And rabbits, everybody say, oh, you fuck like rabbits, you're humping like rabbits, because rabbits, yeah, because rabbits reproduce so fast, and so they take all these reproduction, fertility ceremonies and things, and put them together, and say, oh, it's because Jesus' birthday and all this, and it don't make no sense after all that, So everything is just pagan, just a bunch of different old traditions and old beliefs that just still linger on, and from 3 or 4 different time periods, 3 or 4 different cultures that are kind of similar, that they kind of blend it together a little bit but not really. And so you take some stories from here and you take a little bit of this story, and then you kind of just mash them all together, and then that's how we get our holidays now. But any of our holidays now, like the dominant ones, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween, Valentine's Day, those shits are nothing like they originated. Like how this shit started, it's nothing like that today. We just, pass out candy and give out some gifts and shit, dress up in costumes, but back in the day, this shit was on some other shit, yo. Black heroes mostly have face tattoos or can dribble. No, none of my black heroes have face tattoos or can dribble a ball. See, Malcolm X, he didn't have face tattoos. He didn't dribble a ball. Huey P. Newton, it didn't have face tattoos. These are my black heroes. Chancellor Williams, he wrote a book called The Destruction of Black Civilization. He didn't have face tattoos and he didn't dribble a ball, but he's one of my favorite heroes. Michelle Alexander, she's one of my heroes now, and she didn't dribble a ball and she doesn't have face tattoos. Uh, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you know what I'm saying? My man, Ivan von Sertimer, they never dribble the ball, and they don't have face tattoos, but they my heroes, and they're black. They're black heroes of mine that don't have face tattoos or dribble balls. It's a difference. I don't know what you think a black hero is, but my idea of who I consider to be a hero, they don't have face tattoos or dribble balls.
We're playing basketball. 24 hours. I gave you some of that other weed. You left it down there too. That
Pepper
shit,
weed?
yeah. Don't call it pepper. It's called True OG.
True OG. That's spicy. That shit tastes spicy white.
That's because it's shit. But yeah, I gave you a little bit of it.
Now go grab that. I got my tip up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I brought a tip up. Honestly, I don't really feel like going upstairs to get it, so I'll take that back when I go down, and I'll just give you some of this. We're playing basketball.
Yeah. So we listened to Young Pharaoh.
Too, right?
You gotta do it backward. We listened to Young Pharaoh earlier break down once again, Christmas is actually a conglomerate of several different fertility rites and ceremonies and from over the years. And so Young Pharaoh, he did a really good job putting together a concise history of Christmas and where Christmas originated from. Well, but the major themes that we still carry out for Christmas, like where did these major themes originate from? I kind of do that every year on every holiday. So on Halloween, we're going to listen to the history and the true origin of St. Hallows Eve. Where did that shit come from? Why do you dress up in scary masks and costumes? Because it's the one day where the dead and demons can walk the earth and they can take you back to the underworld with them. So you have to look scarier than they are to scare them back into the underworld. That's why you dress in costumes, so that the ghouls and goblins don't know that you're not a ghoul and goblin, and then you can scare them back into their dark world. But do we really believe that? Is that really true?
Why is it only one day?
You know, but people still do it though. I want to be Iron Man. I want to be a sexy nurse.
It's fun though. That's what I was gonna say. It's like, can we just have costume parties for a non-holiday, like just to have costume parties? Are grown people gonna do that?
We should be able to do that. We should be able to just dress up. You know, y'all wanna. It's called cosplay.
Yeah, I was gonna say because
you know, motherfuckers do cosplay all year round.
For games and stuff. But I'm saying like, okay, I want to be Minnie Mouse. Like, it don't gotta be we just doing a '70s theme party. Like, wear whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Let's just wear some costumes and shit. It's like dress up for grown-ups. That's it. But shit, if we can do that, we can have a Thanksgiving that's not Thanksgiving. Just an appreciation day where we appreciate people in the world. Even though we should do that shit every day. I ain't going too hard to get rid of Christmas, because I still got some more gifts to receive. Put a little bit of the fun inside.
My ex-girlfriend be cosplaying. Is that why she's your ex? like, bitch, I can't deal with.
She likes the LARP and shit.
This motherfucker thinks she's Sailor Moon. Bitch, you're not Sailor Moon.
But it's so sexy, the little Sailor Moon outfits. I'm not gonna lie, I would cosplay just to wear them. The little outfits are nice. I mean, it just gives you a reason to wear it. Why else would you dress up like Sailor Moon? That's why I said we should just have a national
Tenchi Muyo in love.
Yeah. I ain't gonna talk about you, but I think you need some.
You what?
I said I ain't gonna talk about you, but I think you need some.
See, that's what I'm saying.
What? Ben, I'm keeping you right.
My ex used to cosplay. My cousin, he like 24, 25. He cosplay. He ain't never gonna have a real girlfriend. So
I hope you watching this right now.
Matthew. It's government out there.
Don't forget to call your auntie.
Oh.
Because you gonna forget.
Yo, Jess, what up? Tell him again. Say it louder. Yo, big homie. What up, yo? Happy holidays. Yeah, I'll show y'all my pictures, my paintings of Jess, yo. Yo, word, straight up, like when Facebook is like, yo, it's your friend anniversary with Jessica, I'm like, 4 fucking years. Damn, that shit went by fast as shit, yo. That shit, I swear to God, it just seemed like last summer. We took that first photo shoot we did. I feel like that shit was like last summer, yo. That shit was 4 fucking years ago already. You see me, I'm doing the same thing I always do. Don't shit change, yo. Smoking and painting. Smoking and painting. Yeah, that shit was 4 years ago. No, time fucking flies by so fast, yo. Time flies so fast. What up, though? Christmas Eve, everybody. Everybody all in the goddamn holiday spirit and cheer and all that good whatnot. I'm trying to get fucked up just because it's holidays. Everybody else do whatever they want to do. I just drink and smoke a little more. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Jess, it's crazy too, cause did you help me write something on the last one? I don't know. So for the last painting I did at Jess, it was a community effort where I gave out quiz questions, and if you answered the question correctly, I would write whatever you wanted me to write on my canvas. So like you were actually a part of the painting process. I don't know if you actually put something on that canvas, a quote or something, but for the next one, because it's going to be the next piece I finish. I want to start coming up with quiz questions again, just in case somebody want to add something to the canvas and be a part of the, be a actual part of the process. And there is a third one. I mean, the day that we did this photo shoot, we took hella pictures in the alleys. We took pictures at the cafe. We took pictures on the rooftop of the parking garage. Like, we was all downtown for about an hour or so taking pictures. And so I honestly may do a third one, and just to make this a trilogy. But the first one we did, yeah. So you definitely you got to give me a quote or something, whatever, a favorite saying of yours or anything like that. So, uh, the actual location where we took this at, there is a chalkboard wall. It's just like this, but I just changed all the sayings and writings that were already on the chalkboard to make it our own. And so I first I just told myself, I'm gonna write everything up there myself. I'm gonna just write what I want to write. And then after a minute, I started running out of quotes and stuff, and I was thinking like too hard, like what should I write. And so I was like, fuck it, I'll just ask people for help. And so we got this one done, and there's tons of quotes from all different kind of people, yo. Refuse to be intimidated by the process. Your fear of looking stupid is holding you back. I shut my eyes in order to see. My generation started without the internet. Got the Wu-Tang logo. Then we got the beautiful model sitting here having a nice cup of coffee, checking some emails, you know what I'm saying? Getting things in order. Don't forget, this was about the same time that COVID-19 popped off. And so here, we just got just a bunch of cool ass quotes and a really cool setting, nice picture with my beautiful models. And so, like I say, that day we took several pictures. And so that was the first one I got done. And now I'm working on part 2 to this one, which is a little bit closer shot. So I added more texture and detail to the wall behind her since you can see it by being up close. And so I'm slowly working my way through this one. I actually just took this one off the easel so I can get these prepped up. So I want to get some paint on this canvas, get paint on those 2 canvases, and then I'll set all 3 of these to the side. And I'll put this one back on the easel and work on this until I get this one finished. Because these are going to be some nice pieces. I can't wait to actually get these out in the gallery somewhere. But it's coming along nice so far. But yeah, when I started writing on this, when I started putting the sayings there, I definitely awesome. You already got one in mind. That's what's up, yo. You don't even gotta answer no quiz question. You get it by default. Just text DM me or text it to me, and once I start writing it up, there, we'll slap it right wherever you want it at. A nice little quote, nice little saying or something. You only get one chance to make a first impression, or don't look a gift horse in the mouth, or don't take wooden nickels from strangers. That's one of my favorite ones.
I will never understand.
It's not meant to be understood, yo. It's not meant to be
wooden nickels, like, okay.
Don't take wooden nickels from strangers. You know what I'm saying? Little life affirmation, something positive or whatever. I will. It'd be a little bit. Like I said, I'll probably take the next week, about a week or so, to get these canvases prepped up. And then I'll be right back on that one. I'm not trying to rush on these things, but I've been like so busy with commissions this year, yo. It's been taking me forever to like get my own paintings done. Like every time I start some shit, like other people want me to paint this, paint this, paint this. So like now that I don't have any commissions going on, I be trying to be in here as much as I can so I can get my own ideas knocked out. And like the last two reader series, I was working on them for months. I know the models were like, damn, he took those pictures and never fucking used them. Or like these, I mean, how long ago we took these set of pictures? That shit was months and months ago, and I only got one painting done out of that shit so far. But I'll definitely let you know when I start writing on it.
Lord Jesus. They done pronounced the baby dead and the baby wasn't dead.
Oh damn.
So now they trying to get the baby heart to pump, and then they, press on his chest, and then he starts breathing. I'm like, see, that's the problem now.
Mm-hmm.
People don't try hard enough.
He's dead. That baby not dead.
That's what I would. If I was a mother and my baby just came out, oh no, y'all got my baby's dead. You ain't even trying nothing. Do CPR. He ain't dead. He just playing dead.
All right. What were we gonna listen to? I may play this one later. Let's see.
Young Pharaoh.
Young
Yeah.
Pharaoh. She loves some Young Pharaoh now.
He makes short videos, and because some of Pharaoh's videos are 3 hours long. Like I have to break them up.
That'd be dope. And that's something else I've been wanting to do for a while too. Is like parents, like parents and their kids. I was actually thinking about Connie and her daughter, you and your son. That'd be good, yo. Like I don't. Yeah, she just had a baby this year.
Oh,
but like I don't have any paintings like that. You know what I'm saying? That shit'd be dope as shit, yo. Have you reading a story, a kid's book to your son or some shit like that, yo? Just that connection, I want to implement that shit in my art. That shit'd be dope as fuck, yo. And y'all probably don't know Jess, but I talk about when I say my models that I use them all the time. Like Jess, she's dope as shit, yo. Like, and said she be when I be ready to model, I need a model. She be right there. Like when and where. You gonna grow your hair back? I remember when I first met Jess, yo, her hair was like to her hip, yo. Her hair is fucking long as shit.
That shit is a lot to deal with, though.
And then her shit is thick, yo. Like she got this super. It's like a lion's mane, yo. She got a fucking mane. Her shit is long and thick as shit, yo.
Yeah, I don't miss
That's why she chopped it. That's why she chopped it that short. Like
that's what I'm saying. I don't miss that shit.
It's too much.
Just me greasing your scalp or trying to wash your hair is enough for me once, twice a week. I don't want to have to do my own shit.
Yeah, her shit was long, super long.
But then in the wintertime, that shit come in handy because my little head be cold. I like the haircut though.
Yo,
it's so much easier. I swear. Especially if you're a mom and you got shit going on, you don't want to have to deal with your hair. Just something short and easy.
Yo, DeMario say he about to open up a second shop over here in the Wilkes-Barre Mall. Gotta go check that shit out. Yeah, I left out earlier. Left paint on my brushes on some amateur shit. Don't do that, guys. Don't leave paint on your brushes. Alright, you fuck them shits up. That's how I'm enjoying my time off, the holidays or whatever. Sit around in the studio. I couldn't ask for anything better than this, yo. Oh yeah, definitely. And I live right over here, but I still ain't like breezed through and check it out yet. But I gotta check it out. I seen his daughter at the Steamtown Mall and was talking to her and asked her where her dad was at. She was like, oh, he had the Wilkes-Barre Mall opening a new store. I was like, word? Okay. All right.
That's what I think we should do. Something similar.
Oh yeah.
That's because it's easy, and we
Mhm.
don't have to do no backgrounds. I don't know what I'm gonna do for beads.
That's why
You got all the scars. I got the scars.
I got scars, but that's why I be collecting the costume jewelry, like all that shit. I be trying to pick that shit up every time I see something like that. I don't have to do my makeup.
Just do a lipstick to match, and I can make whatever color lipstick I want. Just mix something together.
Yeah, and I got all the lights. I got to pull that light out the basement too.
Like, what can we do that's not terribly difficult?
But yeah, I couldn't ask for anything better right now. I'm in the studio, chilling, smoking, sipping on some sweet red wine.
Just eat.
Just had some food. I'm good.
Ooh,
that's nice.
That's hot because there's a bandage around her eyes.
Mm-hmm. Damn, I might have some gauze in there too.
Yo, that's it.
We trying to think of a photo shoot right now as we speak. Trying to think of a photo shoot right now. You know? Come up with some new ideas.
Oh, I found somebody for you to paint too. And they're not like, they have like maybe like $5,000, but it's not anybody that's like super famous. Actually,
We're not building homes, we're creating community.
But I know you want more models that look like her. So I was looking at her specifically, but I thought this picture of all of them was really good.
That's not a bad picture.
And she's really pretty.
Who is that?
It's this girl who's on my Instagram. I don't really know her, but I have no problem asking her if she want a model because she's beautiful.
Alright, so what I was doing in here right now is basically just trying to fill this in with the first layer. The first layer of paint is called the underpainting. And we're just gonna try to block this underpainting in just to get this one started.
The only thing is I don't know if she's in Florida, so you won't be able to take the picture.
Yeah, see if I can take the picture.
I mean, her pictures are bomb.
So I'll show y'all where I'm basically at on this canvas now. So the drawing, I already did the drawing, got that part done. I had already outlined the drawing and toned the canvas. That's phase 2. Then part 3 is to do a underpainting. And this is the part I'm at now on this canvas. It's just trying to get the underpainting done. And once you do the underpainting, you let this dry, and then you come back and you work around that. And then you get a painting like this. But it's all about the process. You gotta just take your time, work your way through all the steps, and then you get your end product. Oh my God, that connection is so bad to that speaker. Actually, damn. Now that I think about it too, yo. Jess actually co-hosted my show with me a couple times, like twice. I remember that shit. When I was really looking for a co-host, yo, to help in the studio with me. Like I said, Jess cool as shit, yo. Now I got a new co-host who don't mind being on camera. That's the thing. Like some people just don't want to be on camera.
I did it in the beginning. I've grown to.
It's just because
I like talking more than being on camera.
Yeah, I get it. I get that. And
like
that's
I
why
like being there. I don't have to be the spotlight, but that's why it's like it's your show. I'm just the guest.
But at the same time, like with my talk show, when I try to get some artists to come and do an interview, they won't. They don't want to be on camera. They love art and they want people to see their art, but themselves, they don't want to be on camera and see themselves talking and all that shit. They just don't want to do that shit. Some people don't like being on camera, and I get that. But at the same time, like with it's a difference when I do my official talk show and my stream. Like in my stream, I'm just chill. You know that shit, drinking, smoking, fuck, cursing, and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? It's more like relaxed. This is more me. Not saying that when I'm on my TV show, that's not me, but that's more a professional version of myself. So honestly, I'd rather do this, my home stream. I wish that this could be, syndicated or something like that, but it can't. I can't be Joe Rogan, you know. But so yeah, when I do have with me, like don't be uptight and nervous. It's just chilling. I'm just in here fucking chilling and painting. And I don't. I used to advertise this on like my social media platforms, but then like the more and more my coworkers and shit want to be friends with me on social media and shit, I don't advertise my YouTube channel no more. You either know about it or you don't. And then I only let certain people know I even got a YouTube channel. The motherfuckers I work with or people who don't really know me that well, like y'all don't need to be on my fucking YouTube. Yeah, I said that shit caused too much goddamn strife.
Tension is. I wish I was bold enough to do this. She's skinny too. On my everything, they gonna see everything.
Alright. It's the afternoon stream, so I really do want to just jump into some things real quick, guys.
Because it's inanimate. People ask me what sort of a person should become a celebrity accountant, and I tell them nobody should. Hey, buddy, what's the damage? I bought it. Wonderful.
Yeah, see, this is what the co-host is good for. So you can look up some Young Pharaoh or something while I paint.
Unless y'all want to hear some music by Travis Prince.
Alright. So next, I can do some black and gray. Black and gray is what's next. Black and gray. And so I'm gonna have to put some black and white on my palette. Let me scrape some of this shit off real quick. I just had my gloves.
I don't want to put on this thing against him and Nature Boy because he went in on his ass, man. But it's a long video though.
Yeah, and that's the other girl, Goddess Anaya. I follow her on Facebook, and she was talking about Nature Boy, so I looked him up and watched 2 clips from him, and then I found the Young Pharaoh video. I was like, damn, I didn't even know who. And if you look up Nature Boy now, it's just and it's mostly shit about him and shit. Alright, scrape that.
Alright, so I'm trying to find this video where he's talking about the Greek man and how he sent the woman off called something. Alright, well, let's listen to this real quick because it's a 14-minute video. The truth behind the emasculation agenda.
The emasculation agenda?
Now that you gang, it's gonna hurt.
I mean, that's, once again, it's so obvious to see.
I think it's hurt my nigga.
Behind the emasculation agenda. See? Now we want to go into this, right? Why would you want to emasculate a man? Why? Y'all don't understand energy, okay? A man represents the security of his community and society. A woman represents the intellect of her community and society. So this is why they say a nation can never rise as high as this woman. See? So you will never go as high as your woman displays herself intellectually. And you will never be respected as a community intellectually as high as the level of intellect that your woman displays. But what they don't tell you is a nation can only survive for as long as this man can protect it. So they only giving you one line. Yeah, a nation can only rise as high as the woman. But it don't matter how high we raise the woman if we can't protect her while she's up there. So this is why it's important. Let me give you an example. A lot of y'all have been in this situation before. You either been the person with the girl, or you've been the person trying to talk to the person that got the girl. Let me give you an example. If you in the mall, the bar, club, or you just somewhere in public, right, and you see a female that she like, if she was a skinny, weak-looking dude, you gonna feel like I could take her, or I could do a little better. You basically gonna feel like you can invade, yes, and you can conquer. That's what you gonna feel like. Now, you might not be a Devo and walk right up while you're there and be like, come with me. But when you go to the bathroom, you would shoot your shot. Because you don't care if you walk out while you're in the middle of talking to her, because you're not worried about him. But, on the other hand, if he was some 6 foot, 260 solid muscle diesel nigga that looked like he's a problem, okay, you're not going to even try her. And when you go to the bathroom, you're not going to try her. Because you know what it's hitting for if he come out and catch you trying to talk to his girl. That simple science right there, take that and equate that to the world. If you a military general and you looking for places to invade, you're not going to go invade the place that got the biggest, strongest, most athletic, swordsman, skillfully trained firearm users. You're going to go invade the place that has the most feminine, weak, emasculated looking men first. Because it's the easiest to conquer. So, look at the black community. We're not respected intellectually because look at our women. They're not intellectual. They're hypersexual. They're not intellectual. Look at our men. Look at our men. I keep saying this, I'm going to say it again. In 2015, police killed more black people than Jim Crow laws at their highest peak. The police killed more black people in 2015 than the Ku Klux Klan did during Jim Crow when it was open season. Now, I'm not saying what I'm about to say retaliate against the police. Let me get my discrimination. I'm saying what I'm about to say to tell you why there's no retaliation for what's happening. Because ain't nobody worried. Huh? Every day, I don't even gotta watch the news. Every day I get on either Facebook or Instagram, it's a "Have you seen my kid?" post. A black boy or a black girl missing. You know why we coming up missing like that? Because nobody is worried about the presence of masculinity within the black community. Nobody's worried about retaliation from a black man. Nobody's worried about a black man. Black men smoke and drink too much to be physically intimidating. We're out of shape. Nobody's worried about black people at all. Nobody's worried about black people. And the most physically capable people that we have are dribbling a basketball or running a football up a field and could honestly give a fuck. And so that being said, this is why we are under constant attack. Because nobody is worried about the masculine image of a black man because it's constantly being emasculated. See? If I get on here and I be masculine, motherfuckers are trying to crucify me. But if I get on here and tell my son he could paint his motherfucking nails and I call him she, like Dwayne Wade bitch ass, and I allow for the protector of the family to become emasculated, y'all gonna defend it. Oh yeah, you got every excuse in the world. But when a motherfucker anybody transgress on my community, you want all the smoke. Now it's a problem. See. Now I know how to watch certain things, and I've been watching certain things. If you rep your history and you rep your people, then they say you a black extremist. Greco-Roman culture, they say you a motherfucking hero. You see how it go? See how this shit go? When you militant and you black, the FBI will get on your ass. But if you're a black man and you want to wear some nails and you want to put a penis up your anus from time to time and act feminine, you good. They'll protect your rights to have a mental illness and display that in the public. So I'm not saying that being a strong black man means going against America. I'm not saying that. Being a strong black man means going against anybody transgressing on your community. So if 800,000 black women and children come up missing every year, on time, every time. If in 2015 the police killed more niggas than the Ku Klux Klan did at Jim Crow at its worst level of violence. If vaccinations and all of this other shit is being used, all these black women dying during childbirth in these hospitals from inadequate medical care. If we are under attack as a people, okay, it's because ain't nobody worried about us. Because the image of what you should be worried about has been totally destroyed. Totally destroyed. Soon as niggas see that I do MMA, that I do Muay Thai kickboxing, niggas be like, oh, I ain't fighting you, I gotta shoot you. You know why? And that don't even mean they can't beat me. Some of these niggas be bigger than me. It's just the image of masculinity scares these niggas so much that they realize if a confrontation come, I'm ready to go. Mind you, I've been knocking niggas out since high school. My hook ain't just get good going to the gym. I came into the gym with a good hook. Because I've been punching niggas in their mouth since before, matter of fact, elementary. I've been punching niggas in their mouth. So with that being said, the point I'm trying to make is masculinity makes you think twice about trying to conquer and trying to invade. And the reason we are constantly conquered and invaded is because we have no masculinity present. We don't display it. And the only time we do display it is when it's toxic or towards another black man. So there's masculinity present when it has something to do with another black man. Then they go get a 100-round drum, extendo with the 30 on it, wow. Soon as the niggas say, yo, they snatching kids up in vans in Atlanta, let's go find one of these niggas that's in these vans, and let's make an example out this motherfucker that's gonna be so brutal, it can't help but be on CNN. Hypothetically speaking, I'm not saying literally, I'm saying hypothetically. Soon as a nigga hypothetically say some shit like that, crickets. Soon as a motherfucker say, damn, the elites is running away, let's go overthrow the elites. Crickets. Soon as a motherfucker say, damn, it's chemtrails in the motherfucker's car, let's go put an end to that chemtrail shit. Crickets. So there is no masculinity present against evil. And this is why evil has the free range to do what it do, because it's not worried about no pushback. And so, motherfucker, this is why there's an emasculation agenda. Not just to bring in homosexuality or the transgenderism and all that shit, or a genderless, ageless society. Yeah, that's one of the agendas of the New World Order. But also, it's to make sure that there is no consequences and repercussions for evil. When they kidnap a motherfucking kid from the black community, white community, they're not worried about you doing shit. If the females is caught up on trying to get their hair and nails done, and the niggas is caught up on trying to get their hair and nails done, at what point in time is a masculine energy going to be present to stop this motherfucker that's in the back kidnapping? If the female in the mall trying to buy a motherfucking Chanel bag, and the nigga in the mall trying to buy a motherfucking Chanel bag, where is the masculine energy that's going to stop the motherfucker that's in the bathroom, the pedophile that's in the bathroom in the restroom that's finna abduct the kid? It's not present. It doesn't exist. If a female is a damsel in distress, and the nigga think he a damsel that's in distress, where's the nigga that's supposed to be present to protect the woman? See? And then women are being psychologically indoctrinated by being, just so obsessed with material things and being competitive with women and not seeing value in a black man, that they uphold the emasculation of black men, and then they dethrone a strong black man. If you're a strong black man, they gonna hit you with the, you ain't my daddy, I don't know my tell me what to do, and I don't need no nigga, and hot girl summer, and da-da-da-da, give a fuck about that. They don't want to hear that. Malcolm X and Meg Thee Stallion wouldn't have a 1 hour relationship. Because Meg Thee Stallion would not listen to shit Malcolm X has to say because she don't give a fuck if it's not toxic. You think Trina and motherfucking Malcolm X could have had a successful relationship? Is you fucking crazy? No. Hell no. And so the reason that those relationships wouldn't work is the reason why masculine, conscious black men do not have successful with the relationships with the average black woman. And so this is why the community is at odds. Because you got a motherfucker like Meg Thee Stallion that won't have a successful relationship with Malcolm X. But then when something happened to her or her kids, Malcolm X the same nigga that she want to go put his life on the line for her when she didn't even just want to listen. So this is the issue with the community. Either everybody gonna fall in line and listen and we gonna do what the fuck we need to do to get to the next place, or we gonna stay divided. You niggas gonna keep sucking dick, you females gonna keep sucking dick, the kids gonna keep coming up missing, and nobody gonna do shit because half of us don't want to do shit because we don't want to fuck with the other half that didn't listen, and then the other half that didn't listen just gonna further not want to listen because they feel like even though they didn't listen, we should still jump out the motherfucking tree for them too. And so while we doing all of this arguing, the motherfucker still is behind us, snatching kids, snatching women, and snatching niggas too. And so we need to get it together. We need to get it together. But until we get it together, I hope that you at least understand why there's an agenda to emasculate the men of the community. Because the man represents the security of the community or the family he represents,
like you
and
said,
the woman
Malcolm X.
represents the intellect
They don't
of
want
the
another
family that
one.
she represents. You don't believe me?
They have to keep us in the state
Get a
of
smart-ass nigga
emasculation so we
and put
don't
him with a
produce
dumbass
another
woman.
Malcolm X, so we don't
and
produce
see if you
another
still feel
Dr.
like that
King,
nigga
so
smart.
we don't
You
produce
might even
another
start looking
Medgar
at him
Evers.
like,
They don't want that
nigga,
shit.
you weak
That's the whole
because
agenda.
you went and got that weak
And
ass
say
woman so you
nobody
can
can
control
fucking
her.
come save
So we gonna
us.
start looking at him like, nigga, do you got some ill intent? Unless we see you, because it is one thing to be a man and take a woman and build her up and transform her. That's cool. I'm not knocking that. But you know what I'm talking about. You talking about them? We talking about them the motherfuckers that go get a partner that we can see as not only intellectually on their level, they're not even trying to get them on their level. They like them being there. Then if we see a female counterpart that's intellectually weak opposed to the man, we automatically assume that he did that on purpose so that he could get his rocks off. See? And then if we see a woman that's too masculine and too strong and not feminine with her man, then we assume he's weak and he's getting stepped on. Yes, we don't assume these things by mistake because energy don't lie. It's a subconscious analysis because the man represents the protecting factors of the community and the woman represents the intellectual factors of the community. That's just it. So look how we represent ourselves to the world. We take the worst of the worst that our community could possibly produce. We take the most psychologically displaced and ill and physically and undisciplined of our people and put them on fucking TV for the world to see. We take the most weakest, non-intelligent, non-courageous, unrighteous black men and put them on TV. We take the most low-down, scumbaggish, sexually overzealous women and put them on TV. And then we say, damn, why don't nobody respect us?
Yeah.
Damn.
Why would they all respect us? Look at the fuck what they just saw.
So when we start portraying other images and we start portraying actual foundations of intellect, then we will portray a new statue that must be respected and upheld within the community. And with that being said, family, this video right here was not to accuse or incite any parties or any organizations or any countries or nations of ill behavior. This video right here was to open the minds of all watchers to the potentiality of certain behaviors and certain agendas that may or may not exist and may or may not be specified to a specific community of people in order to get a certain task completed. And with that being said, family, I hope this video has enlightened you, opened your eyes, and has influenced you as a man to actually psychologically embody what it means to be a man and spiritually take your place on the throne of a man. And I hope that it takes women, that it teaches women to strive to be intellectual and accept your seat on the throne of intellectual femininity as you deserve. And I hope it teaches everybody around the world that it's wrong to feminize these kids, no matter what race they are. It's wrong to turn a little boy into a girl, and it's wrong to turn a girl into a boy. And this is why it's wrong. And I hope this video has educated you. And with that being said, I love y'all. Peace.
If it wasn't for this fame, I know they probably wouldn't care about me. But I can't forget when ain't nobody care about me. And it was raining when my auntie kicked me out. That you gang, it's gonna hurt my nigga. RP Dr. Say, I think they murdered my nigga.
RP Dr. Save Me, I think they murdered my nigga.
Club in the mountain, yeah, that jury shine like Apollo, okay. Plugged in like a fire stick.
Peace, family. This video right here is about what was black people's religion before slavery. Now, I know that religion is man-made. Black people didn't have a religion. We had a way of life, understanding. But I'm creating the title in a manner to where people who ask me these questions, can come across this video and it can be answered on a widespread platform versus me keep answering this question individually as time goes on. And so with that being said, monotheism and all of these other man-made fictitious religions,
Monotheism, polytheism.
especially the monotheistic religions via Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, are all Caucasian created religions. Now, when you ask what did black people worship, all right, I don't even like using worships because that's a Caucasian terminology to misrepresent our oneness with the universe. So, I want people to understand, I know they have a vast, diverse audience, right? But we have to understand why things were created and not just what was created. And so when we understand the specific, misleading terms and things like that are used towards African civilizations, we have to understand why they're placed there. Black people, okay, my ancestors had a specific understanding with the universe that was purposely distorted and misconceived to make us look like we were uncivilized savages. For example, right? I'll just use Egypt, for example, right? Egypt, right? They say we worship the sun, okay? Nobody worshiped the damn sun. We understood that melanin was condensed sunlight and you get your soul from the solar system, okay? This is why, Egyptians called themselves children of the sun. So we understood that the sun was the electromagnetic sustainer and manifester of the physical plane and physical reality. Okay, it sustained physical life. So the universe is the manifester of potentiality via the metaphysical realm, and it is through the portal of the sun, because the sun is actually a portal, that physical life is manifested at a specific terahertz frequency that you're able to digest and experience through electrical signals being downloaded and perceived through your 5 physical senses and interpreted by your brain. And so our ancestors understood that, okay? Now, when Europeans did, okay, and other races, when they came amongst black people, where we were, specifically Africa, they were soon, diagnosed with the realization that they cannot be sustained or exist underneath the sun. So even to this day, skincancer.org confirms that every 57 minutes, one non-black person dies of skin cancer via the sun. Israel right now, which is full of white people, has the second highest.
This is the only thing I always say about the white race. It's weird that they don't produce melanin. We live on the surface of our planet for the most part. We're not nocturnal animals, so we don't have very keen hearing like dogs, and in a sense of smell like a shark, eyesight like cats and owls. Like, we thrive better in the daylight. So we live on the surface of our planet, and we do better when it's bright outside. So we're always being bombarded by the UV radiation from the sun constantly. But the sun is what gives everything life. It keeps us warm. It helps plants grow so that we can eat vegetations and other animals can eat the vegetation so we can eat the animals, and we just need the fucking sun. And so for the one thing that gives this planet life, it kills. It's dangerous to some to some people. And that's the weirdest thing, because melanin is just it's natural sunscreen, and it seems like everybody should have color in their skin. It just seems odd not to have color, for the simple fact we live on the surface of our planet. And I don't know. It's just, and I've always thought about that. Once I really start pondering that shit, like skin cancer and melanoma and liver spots and all this other stuff, and it's like that's weird as shit, yo. Why do a portion of the human family no longer produce the natural sunscreen?
Right.
That, let me flip it back.
Rate of skin cancer via the sun or skin cancer via caused by the sun in statistical history right now. So this is not something I'm making up. Even still today, this is a fact. And so what happened was the sun as well as the solar system. So I would like to call it solar science. Okay, we studied the science of the solar realm, the solar system. So astrology and the stars, because every star is a sun. Okay, that's why I'm saying the sun. Okay, it's many suns. The stars, okay, are called a map for a reason because they are they are points on a grid which show you the fluctuations and the changes of energy, okay? For example, I did a video on this. They call 3 o'clock in the morning the witching hour because it's the hour where the latitude and longitude lines of the planet Earth, be it during when the sun begins to rise, become electromagnetically stimulated and charged by the sun, and it begins to kick out a frequency all across the planet Earth. I mean, that travels at like a wave all across the planet Earth. So, between 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, you're actually coming into the stars that form a particular pattern that affect us, aka a zodiac sign known as the Virgo constellation. So this is why paranormal activity is actually so high at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. It's all due to the position of the planet Earth in conjunction with the sun and the rest of the celestial beings. So our ancestors were dealing with astrology. Okay, we can go to even the Dogon tribe of Mali. They had maps of Sirius A and Sirius B before Europeans just found out that was even a star in the sky 60 years ago. They've been doing this for thousands of years. So our ancestors were master astrologists and astronomers, and they dealt with bioenergy as well as the healing properties and the electromagnetic properties of the sun. That's just to tone it down. I can go into an entire lecture on that alone. I've done it. I'm not going to do it now. I'm just telling y'all where we were at psychologically before Europeans came, because now I'm going to tell you how we got here and why we got here. So to sum it all up, we dealt with astrology, astronomy, and the acknowledgement of melanin being a natural universal gift from the sun. Once photons and rays of light vibrate past 800 terahertz frequency, it begins to condense and solidify and become light. This is why we call ourselves light being. So actually, light, when you solidify it, is dark. It's blackness. So black people are actually light beings. I'm not being racist here or anything. I'm being scientific here. I'm being historical and factual. Even when you're in art class, when you coloring, they tell you don't leave no white spots. You put color on a white sheet of paper because the white sheet of paper denotes the void of the existence of frequency. And so, with that being said, continuing on, okay? Boom. What happened was when Europeans came over there, okay, let's just get on Jesus for a minute. Let's just deal with Jesus for 1 second. They said, these niggas is too powerful spiritually for us to conquer as so long as they remain in conjunction and unison with nature. So what they did was they created, with the General SETI, he uses this term, and I'm going to use it now, but I'm going to let you know where I got it from because I feel it best helps to describe this situation. They used a sunblock in the form of religion, okay? So just like they create sunblock that go on your skin and sunglasses that block your eyes, even though you are supposed to sun gaze, okay? And the reason that they tell you don't sun gaze, you can go blind, is because they don't have melanin in their eyes, which is why they're blue, because they're melanin recessive within the retinas of their eyes. And so sun gazing is actually healthy. You download photons and you digest photons via the retina of your eyes. Those photons and electrical signals are converted. They actually travel down and back up your spine into your pineal gland and stimulate your entire nervous system. They also stimulate your DNA via cymatic frequency and unlock codes in the DNA. So all of these sciences our ancestors knew. But this is the important why we must understand that we are not all one race and separate ourselves. Because if you let somebody who this science doesn't apply to come in and scientifically tell you what's best for you, then as a black person, you skipping out on living your best life. A fish can't tell a bird how to fly. A bird shouldn't tell a fish how to swim. So, like I said, this is not about being racist. This is about, racist in a hateful sense. This is about dealing with different races of people, in their best form. And so specifically, when it comes to white people say we have to get these niggas from out of tune with nature in order to conquer them. So instead of dealing with the sun, they created the Son of God. Even in the Bible, Psalms 83, I believe, it says, our Lord God is the sun and shield. Look that verse up. It might be Psalms 83. I ain't had to recite it in a minute, but look it up. It says, our Lord God is the sun and shield. Holy in Greek means helios, which means sun. Bible in Greek means biblios, which means book. The Holy Bible is actually about the sun. It's called the Sun Book. Jesus is the sun, and the 12 disciples are the 12 zodiacs. So what they did was they had to wane black people off the actual sun, okay? And then describe us to a fictitious deity which looked like them. So instead of us acknowledging and living in tune with nature, they forced us to a psyche to where we began to worship spiritually instead of being synchronized with nature spiritually. And the image that they gave us to worship was not only them, but every time you see Jesus Christ, he got the sun behind his head because he's blocking the sun. So black people's path to greatness is that sun. Okay? We have the same biochemical makeup as plants. The only difference in our blood the only difference in our chemical makeup is we have iron in our blood and plants have magnesium. If you switch the magnesium and iron with black people specifically and plants, we would then turn green and have chlorophyll, and plants will have the neuromelanin that we have. So Venom off Spider-Man, the symbiote suit is actually symbolic to the intellectual properties of neuromelanin that black people possess. Our skin, our body actually has intelligence and is able to actually think and react on its own. That's why we have the best agility, the best reflexes, etc. So you can this is why it's also harder for us to get off drugs. So because when we do drugs, our body actually intellectually internalizes the chemical response. And on top of us psychologically being addicted, we become biochemically addicted as well, be it a melanin, because our bodies are intelligent and think for itself. If we educate our bodies to crave something, it will then crave that substance. So this is why it's actually biochemically harder for black people to get off drugs. Go look this up. It's facts and the statistics behind everything I'm saying. And so that being said, continuing on, they took Jesus, white Jesus, and they put white Jesus in between you, which is over here, and the sun, which is over here. So Jesus is the character version of sunblock. So you got sunscreen that go on your skin to block out the beautiful rays of the sun. They say harmful, but they're not harmful to us. When they say the rays of the sun is harmful to who? So with that being said, they got sunscreen to block out the alleged harmful rays of the sun, sunglasses to block out the alleged harmful rays of the sun, and then they got Jesus Christ to block out the beautiful spiritual rays of the sun. So when you say what was black people's religion before, we were conquered. I don't even want to say conquered because we not conquered. Before we was psychologically finessed by colonizers, there was no religion. We were master mathematicians. We were master astrologists. We were master scientists when it came to the cosmos and the universe and being one with nature. We allow a group of entities who are artificially created and outside of that construct to come in and reconstruct our reality predicated upon a fictitious paradigm which suits them being at the highest platform within this hierarchy. So if you want to really get back to your original self, look up in that motherfucking sky and get your head off that piece of shit book. See? Look up in that sky and get your head out that book. See? The stars tell you what time of day it is. The position of the planets tell you what time of day it is. The position of the celestial bodies tell you what's north, east, south, and west. See? The Bible don't tell you that. If you lost in the woods, the Bible don't tell you how to get home. The position of the heavens are the celestial bodies, not some spiritual place that you think you go when you die to be with some white man who can't even live under the sun. How Jesus is the Son of God and he can't even live under the goddamn sun? How does that work? And so this video right here, family, was just a brief description and breakdown to let y'all know where we were psychologically before you allow colonizers to colonize your mind. And I know a lot of people like to say, well, if the Bible not true, how stuff in it always coming true? If I write a book right now and say, I'm going to shoot up a motherfucking, I'm going to shoot up a place tomorrow and not go shoot it up, does that mean the book was holy because I wrote some shit in it and made it come true? Of course, if I wrote the book and then I commit the action I wrote in the book later down the line, it's gonna come true. They got Illuminati cards from the motherfucking 70s, 60s, and I mean the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, where one of the damn playing card decks got the damn Twin Towers being knocked down. So does that mean the fucking Illuminati cards is some divine ass cards from God? No, because the same Freemasonic entities that created the motherfucking monotheistic religions is the same motherfuckers that created the motherfucking Illuminati playing card. So when niggas get to talking about, oh, it said it in the Bible and it happened, nigga, if that's the case, nigga, God must be the creator of the motherfucking Simpsons. Because every time I turn the damn Simpsons on, the shit happened down the line. And so with that being said, when you are planning on doing bullshit and you control the media to disperse to the public in which is going to be the victims of your bullshit, then of course it looks like the media is divine or the books are divine when the bullshit actually take place because the sheeple are not able to see the forest behind the trees. And so that being said, you got niggas out here that'll tell you astrology.
What's the next one?
Hilarious.
Christianity is a lie and black women
Alright, this video is for everybody who feels some type of way about my
like
fuck you if you go to church. That
just
fuck you. Fuck you in that church and that Bible that you want to propagate from them crackers. And fuck them crackers who gave it to you. Now, straight like that. The black woman is God. Woman is God. For the last time, the black woman is God. Now, if you a man and you watching this video and your ego and your pride is hurt, motherfucker, fuck you too. The black woman is God. Until you understand that your relationship in your life is never going to evolve correctly and you always going to be in an unbalance. Now, before I go into the black woman is God, let me shut your Christianity shit down. It's 2015. Christianity was created in 325 AD. AD does not mean after the death of Jesus. It means after damnation. Because it wasn't until in the AD, because you got BC, which means they say before Christ, but it really means before the Caucasian, because before 4086 BC, there was no such thing as a white person on the planet. A white person is a defective, mutated germ from an experiment which took place on the island of Patmos in the year 4686. In the year 4086 BC. Boom. That's when their completion was done. So now, in the Bible, it speaks about this experiment. In Genesis, if you look up Genesis in the dictionary, it states the origin or production of something. So in Genesis, Jacob, who was really Yaqub, because there were no J's back then, just like Jesus' real name was Yeshua, but there were no J's. So now they remixed it up to date and put the J's in there. So now Jacob, when he separated Laban's flock, it tells you right there in Genesis, the creation story right there, if you reread it. I don't feel like grabbing my Bible and reading it, but it tells you he separated the speckled brown and white flocks from the other flocks until they were white and blah, 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 blah. Basically, Yaqub manipulated a gene in black people called the OCA2 gene. This gene controls our skin pigmentation, eye pigmentation, hair pigmentation, so on and so forth. And as he manipulated his genes and made us weaker, he destroyed the 48 shades of the black germ. Now, with this germ, you got 16 shades of black, 16 shades of brown. Now we at 32. Then you got another 16 shades of yellow. So you got black man, brown man, yellow man, a.k.a. black African, black, me, brown, and then yellow man, like Chinese man and Indian man. Once you destroy all those genes, the gene can no longer reproduce itself and it becomes recessive, aka a white gene. A white person is just a genetic, mutated offspring of this gene. Motherfuckers study science and stop trying to argue with me. Now, and this is the secret that the Illuminati and the Masons and all these stupid motherfuckers hide from your ass and won't never teach you. So now, going back to Christianity. White people, as we all know, destroyed Egypt. They destroyed our civilization like they did all of them. And what they did was they went to the pyramids, took the stories that was written in the hieroglyphics and remixed the shit out of them and gave them back to your ass for slavery. Now, black people, you identify with these stories so much because they're your fucking stories. They just perverted. Now, Christianity means crush the unity. Christianity, crush the unity. Crush the unity of who? The black race. White people were not allowed to come amongst us at fucking all. What did they do to barter their way in our life? They went to Ethiopia with that bullshit ass Bible, gave it to motherfuckers. Motherfuckers accepted Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior, which means they accepted that bullshit about, oh, we are equal and blah, 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 and they let these crackers right in. No, in the history of any African civilization were they ever conquered by white people without being given that fucking Bible first. That Bible is the root of all evil.
Pacifier.
And now today in 2015, motherfuckers still accept that retarded ass book, but can't name 10 African queens or kings, but you can sit here and tell me what the fuck David said. Shut the fuck up. Now anyway, boom. Going into the black woman is God. Motherfuckers, y'all don't do no research. Y'all don't read no fucking books, but you quick to sit here and try to argue with me about some shit. And I'm spewing scientific fact that these same fucking scientists on TV and NASA fucking astronomers and astronomers will confirm. If you know what anthropology is or you don't, let me tell you real quick. Anthropology, to not dumb it down but keep it on a level where you can understand, is basically the study of human species and evolution over the periods of millions of fucking years. So, white people try to say we came from monkeys. Negative. White people regress to monkeys. The motherfuckers was fucking them dogs in the Caucasus Mountains and created syphilis, and that's where the disease syphilis comes from. It's the only disease that you can get from having a canine. You motherfuckers start getting hairy and growing tails. If you don't believe me, look this shit up. Now, that's why they call it Caucasians. Caucasus Mountains. Cauk means like corpse, death, dead flesh. White people have no melanin. Their flesh is literally dead. Now, the black woman, millions and thousands of years ago, I don't feel like going into specifics, through what you call parthenogenesis. Look it up. Parthenogenesis. Go on Google, hit your voice activator, and say parthenogenesis definition. Black women, only black women could perform parthenogenesis. What parthenogenesis is
Asexual
unless you know what mitochondria is within the cells, look that up too. Mitochondria. The female mitochondria, unlike male mitochondria, is the only mitochondria that can reproduce itself sexually. Not no hermaphrodite, not no asexual, not none of that shit. Don't get on here talking about, oh, we come from hermaphrodite. Shut the fuck up. No, we don't. The female mitochondria is the only mitochondria that can produce itself. The female was able to fertilize herself at one point in time and give life without the help of a male counterpart. Look this up. There were all females on the planet at one time. Whether you believe in UFOs or whatever, I really don't give a fuck, because it is. Look it up. If you don't believe me, your same U.S. government has a whole Majestic 12 secret group that's specified to deal with extraterrestrial beings. They have Area 51. They have all this shit in your face. So don't argue with me. Argue with the same motherfuckers who deal with these people every day. The number one risk of national security is alien breach. So why would the government be worried about an alien breach if they felt they wasn't real? Not a Jesus coming back. Jesus coming back is not nowhere on the list of national security. But UFOs coming back is number one. So, nigga, ask Barack Obama. Don't argue with me about if you think aliens is real. Now, with that being said, black people, our ancestors, yes, live in the 19th galaxy. We live in the 18th galaxy. Our solar system is a binary solar system, which means two. We actually are joint with another solar system, but I'm not going into that. Now, who I will refer to as the Anunnaki, or in the Bible, it will refer to as the angels. If you go to the Bible and you go to Ezekiel, it speaks right there in chapter 1 of him having an interaction with extraterrestrials. The X chromosome that we know in a woman is 5 times larger than the Y chromosome, which makes a man. If you take 2.8% of that X chromosome away from itself, it becomes weaker and it becomes a Y chromosome. The male body was made from the female's body. So Adam didn't make Eve. Eve made Adam. They reversed the creation story. If you don't believe me, a male's body is a defective offspring of a female's body. We are the only beings on the planet that don't use all of our body. What do I mean by that? we have nipples and we don't use them. We don't produce milk. We don't breastfeed, and there's other shit that we have that females have that we don't do. Females come out, they don't have to get circumcised. I think she was on the Breakfast Club and she had this skit talking about your pussy fell out. It's actually supposed to go in like the tube of a vagina. It comes out with extra skin on it and all kind of other shit.
And come back right back to this. But this, like, it's funny, but she said it sounds funny like a joke, but it's science and it is what happens. And like we know this, you know, she doesn't go, like I said, it was like some quick shit she just said, but she doesn't go into like all the
comedians though.
I think
they be knowing. It's right here. They be knowing. It's only a minute long.
Yeah, now listen to how she explained.
Or this one on the
I think it's the top one.
That's Charlamagne. It's the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, that's when she said it, but it probably came from her stand-up skit, but she said it on the show too.
Yeah, because you have a penis, but you know, men, they jealous of women anyways because their coochies fell out.
A woman, that's just whack. Like,
yeah, because you have a penis, but you know, men, they upset, they jealous of women anyways because their coochies fell out. Yeah. What? See, everybody starts out as female. All humans start out as female, and then a chromosome kicks in, and your coochie fall out. That's why men have nipples. Okay, and so you guys are like, this is a fact.
Okay, YouTube video.
And I've seen it in the encyclopedia. All right. Britannica.
And we all have little penises in us. Yours just, your little penis.
Yeah, I mean, if you ever look at
a clitoris,
look at a penis. That is nothing but a vagina that fell out.
What?
So the bigger your penis, the bigger your vagina was.
Yeah. The testicles is the ovaries. The sac is the uterus. The shaft is the vaginal canal, and the tip is the clitoris. Your coochie fell out, son. That's why some of you act like bitches.
That's why y'all some bitches.
Yo.
And
and people should know.
And
like,
see, everybody keep asking like, yo, why we kind of fuck with her? I'm like, why not? She's so raw,
yo. And she said some scientific, hardcore science in a joke.
That's the thing between her and Dave Chappelle and a few of the other people, Bernie Mac. Them motherfuckers really told the truth in their comedy. They'll throw it in there, but they gonna tell you the truth though.
And that's like, that was my first thing. Like when I realized like what nipples are for, it's like, okay, then why do I have nipples?
But that's the thing too. And then y'all's nipples have no function, but most men do have some type of sensation in their nipples if they're touched.
Yeah.
And if you're cold, y'all are cold, y'all nipples can get hard just like women.
Yeah, so but we can't get pregnant, so we don't produce milk, and that's what they're for. The mammary glands are to produce milk.
Right. That's why I said y'all are just there for decoration.
Because we should have been a girl, but it changed. Everybody starts off as a girl. And nipples are that one
Black
thing that proves that shit. Yo.
She's the carrier of life. She creates life. Muslim, you're watching this. I don't know how you say that word because I don't speak Arabic, but I believe it's Rahum or Rahim or some shit. It's RHM. If you look up the etymology of that word, it means womb. So when you worship that Rahum or whatever, however you say it, you're actually worshiping a womb. So a matrilineal system is where a queen or a female rules. A patrilineal system is where a man rules. If you look up African civilizations in history, we were running according to a matrilineal system all the way up until the fucking Europeans came and switched it. So this world didn't become a male, this is a man's world, or females ain't shit, or niggas run around talking about bitches ain't shit, until they follow behind the ideology of the fucking European or the Caucasian. Anytime before them, niggas respected women, females had entire armies, females governed lands and provinces. You couldn't even be the pharaoh in Egypt unless you got appointed by the woman that was playing the background. Like the wisest elder woman had to choose. You had to be you had to be wise and intelligent, not just a warrior. And the female had to give the okay for you to rule the land. So your whole way of life right now is fucked up and being governed off a system that your ancestors did not create and is not meant for you to run, for you to run off. Now the black woman is God, not just because she gave birth to these physical vehicles or bodies, whatever you want to call them, of the black man, but the black woman is God because only she can bring life. A black woman's clit, which science will confirm, is a miniature penis. So only the black woman can give life. The universe is black; it gives birth. The sun don't give birth; it just sustains life. As a black man, we are the sustainers of life. We carry the sperm because the black woman can no longer perform parthenogenesis, so we are here to assist and impregnate her. Black women are naturally more loving and caring. They don't create fucking religion. For me to sit here and have to tell you is stupid. They don't create disease. They don't go in the laboratory and create AIDS. Black women is not running around selling crack, blowing niggas' heads off, listening to Chief Keef. No. They just simply doing what they feel attracts the black man because we fell from grace. Black women, you can say what you want to say about them, but they held us down. If it wasn't for them, motherfuckers would be fucked up. Harriet Tubman helped niggas escape, motherfucker. Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King as was a Christian, and he was peaceful. So Harriet Tubman and Martin Luther King as would not have got along. So you say what you want to say about the black women, but they hold shit down. Boom. Sciences or spiritual sciences or universal physics that I don't feel like going into because motherfuckers not going to understand it because they don't read a book. I'm trying to keep my mind as simple as possible. Go look up parthenogenesis, go look up anthropology, and look up Anunnaki. If y'all can't find it or your research game ain't good, hit me up and I will post everything that you need to read. But the black woman is God. Everybody on this planet comes from her. Even the fucking man, even you, if you a man and you watching this, the Bible is full of shit. And we've been on this planet for millions and trillions of years. And yes, I'm saying trillions. So don't sit here and tell me, oh, evolution says the earth is only 15 billion years old. Because that's a fucking lie, too, that them crackers told you. But we've been on this planet all these years, no Bible. Great. Soon as they come with this Christianity shit, after they get made on that island, now everybody's so fucked up, and black people will sit here and argue you to death and really literally kill you over this some shit these crackers made and didn't do no research on where it come from. Don't need no book to tell them how to live. Plants don't need no book to tell them how to grow. How the fuck you need a book to tell you how to live? Do you need a book to tell you if you got a shit, go to the bathroom? No. It's a natural thing. But you need a book to tell you how to live your life when it's naturally in you. I know not to rape nobody or molest no kids because it's naturally wrong. I know that. I don't need nobody to tell me that. But in that Bible, it tell you that you can. In that Bible, it tell you that it's okay to have slaves. And that Bible will tell you that it's okay to be a homosexual. And I will show you every page where it say this. So don't sit here and get on my stat and say, no, it don't. Because yes, the fuck it do. The black woman is God. Look it up. Like I said, if you go to church today, you the number one fucking problem. Because these crackers ain't even forcing the Bible on you. You black people with these fucking Jehovah Witnesses and shit coming to your door doing Willie Lynch job for them and shit. So like I said, if you go to church still today and you just blaming on an imaginary friend for grown people because your ass ain't fucking reading or doing what you gotta do. So with that being said, if you still go to church, fuck you. If you got any questions about what I'm saying, anybody, and you really want to learn something, ask me, you feel me, and I'll explain shit in further detail. This video right here is just for the haters and the motherfuckers who the number one reason why black people still fucked up. Peace.
Oh, the laptop is so far away.
You're watching The Breakfast Club.
No, we're not.
Morning, everybody.
No, we're not watching this.
sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Arthur C. Clarke.
Shouldn't we be content to be cosmic sloths, enjoying the universe from the comfort of Earth? The answer is no. Stephen Hawking.
To look to the future, we must first look back upon the past. That is where the seeds of the future were planted. I never think of the future. It comes soon enough. Albert Einstein.
Elon Musk sends the first SpaceX Starship to Mars, preparing the way for the first human explorers of the Red Planet. On Earth, digital fabrics are embedded with sensors and displays. Gathering data, they give feedback about the user's health, such as muscle use, sleep habits, and sun exposure. Companies merge digital fabrics with VR gaming, letting users feel vibrations and hot and cold sensations when playing. NASA's Artemis mission launches to begin building a permanent habitat on the moon. On Earth, building materials are becoming a new generation of smart materials. Bricks double as energy storage cells, and police, military, and delivery companies. The first humans leave Earth for the Red Planet aboard a SpaceX Starship. The Mars astronauts use VR goggles to help keep them calm during the 7-month journey.
I'm a second-generation home builder, and I'm really passionate about what we do. A home is so much more than...
Humans begin to interact with virtual reality artificial life. Living beings in a digital world that learn how to act, move, and interact with humans on their own, creating their own behaviors and way of life. Wearable tech is replaced by subdermal tech, chips that are inserted beneath the skin and link users to their home and robotic devices, giving them control using verbal instructions. People with medical issues are using Neuralink chips to make them better. The chip is able to restore eyesight and help people who are paralyzed to walk again. The Universal Translator is used at the United Nations, reducing the need for human interpreters and translators. Quantum computers are used in high-end chemical engineering. They are able to quickly design new medicines, biodegradable plastics, and building materials. 5G networks carrying vast amounts of data take control of transportation flow systems and self-driving networks to improve urban flow. The interplanetary internet system goes online, creating a computer network in space. The network is made up of landing robots, planet satellites, and Earth ground stations. A Jupiter rover sends data to a Jupiter satellite, which beams it to a Mars satellite that then sends the data to Earth. Facilities in place on Mars begin production of 3D printed habitats. Other robot factories produce water and oxygen, as well as laboratory-grown plant and meat products for the arrival of more human explorers and scientists. The first guests arrive at the former International Space Station that has been converted into a luxury orbital hotel, while a new commercial International Space Station is being used for scientific research. The rise of bioplastics takes place, created from renewable resources such as sugar and mushrooms. Reprogrammable microchips allow hardware to be upgraded just like software. Filming begins on the first Hollywood blockbuster that is filmed entirely off-world, using sets and locations in Earth's orbit and on the moon. SpaceX's Starlink internet constellation for Earth is fully operational. The world's first industrial-scale fusion reactor goes online. and starts generating electricity from the fusion of hydrogen atoms, creating vast amounts of clean energy. People start taking anti-aging drugs that take away certain cells that develop as humans age. Elon Musk begins implanting Neuralink chips in healthy people to give them enhanced abilities. The first artificial intelligence judge sentences a criminal to jail. People are now working in completely virtual workspaces. Digital fabrics evolve into power assist fabrics, helping humans walk and gain back mobility in old age. They also give humans added strength and show users how to learn new physical skills. Smart tattoos are used with embedded personalized circuits that allow people to control the devices around them. 4D printing is being used to create new smart materials that are able to transform their structures in response to their environment, such as when exposed to heat or light. People are now living with 3D bioprinted artificial organs. Swarm robotics start to make their way into everyday life. Fleets of robots, such as small drones or robotic ants, communicate with each other and work together. They are able to lift construction materials and become structures themselves by organizing to form a bridge. Everyday people are living with IA, brain chips for intelligence amplification, allowing their thinking, memories, and problem solving to be helped with the use of a machine. Subdermal tech is overtaken by neural links. I am not a human verification systems are in place to keep humans out. Permanent Luna settlements. Humans are living on the moon in science research stations and transit hub facilities, acting as a link between Earth and Mars and the outer solar system. A space station constructed in orbit around the moon begins operations. Billions of people around the world tune in to watch the Bionic Olympics, where humans with robotic limbs compete. People are wearing self-cleaning fabrics that are woven with micrometals which break down dirt when exposed to sunlight. The Starshot Alpha Centauri program, founded by Yuri Milner, Stephen Hawking, and Mark Zuckerberg, launches. 1,000 tiny spacecrafts that are equipped with light sails and are powered by lasers on Earth get sent into space. They reach 20% of the speed of light. The tiny spacecrafts are on a mission to fly by and gather data from Proxima Centauri b, an exoplanet that is in a human habitable zone of the star system. The Square Kilometre Array goes online. Dishes across the deserts of South Africa and Australia are 50 times more sensitive than the Hubble Space Telescope, and are able to pick up faint radio signals from any potential extraterrestrial civilization. 4D printing of moon habitats begin. Materials absorb solar radiation and micrometeor impacts, converting solar and impact energy into electrical energy. Moon-based construction of spacecrafts begin, to be used in the further exploration of the solar system. Quantum computing-based chemical engineering creates a genetically altered strain of wheat designed to survive in the extreme cold and thin CO2 atmosphere of the Martian environment. And neural brain chips allow people to talk to each other telepathically. Humans record every event of their lives from birth to death. Inner speech recording is possible. Hackers are able to plant artificial memories. Humans have sensors flowing through their bloodstream, monitoring their health. In robotics, police robot units accompany human police officers for patrols. The robot population surpasses the human population. Extinct animals are brought back to life. The first woolly mammoth is grown from DNA found in the preserved soft tissues of the long-dead beasts. Herds of mammoths and woolly rhinoceroses roam in a zoo of living fossils. Asteroid capture operations begin. Robots guided by artificial intelligence capture asteroids from the asteroid belt and maneuver them into the orbits of the Moon and Mars. The raw materials are delivered to Mars and the Moon to be converted into materials for further off-world habitat construction and space exploration crafts. Stem cells regenerate missing body parts, including teeth and limbs. Genetic engineering adapts human bodies for the rigors of spaceflight, reducing muscle and bone mass loss from prolonged periods of weightlessness. 300,000 people live on Mars. Newborns on Earth inherit the data trails of their parents. Arc reactors are now efficient and compact. They are used as a portable power source and are employed for military and exploration purposes. People are able to rent and stream dreams while they sleep and dream together in the same virtual world. Artificial general intelligence emerges from a super quantum computer. A human-designed computer achieves consciousness. It is able to learn new things and is self-aware. Interspecies communication is now possible. Robots begin to hold funerals for one another. Artificial life forms are born. Quantum computers are able to design biological life forms from scratch, from redesigning bacteria that can consume plastics to creating designer humans.
The average lifespan of someone born today will be 5,000 years. An AI has the status of a corporation. A global artificial intelligence manages a global Hyperloop transit system, removing the need for commercial flights. All Hyperloop vehicles are built with self-repairing smart materials. Basic molecular assemblers are in use, letting humans create any type of food with the push of a button. Humanity is well settled all around the solar system and is exploring the outer system. Robotic transit fleets transport materials across the solar system. NASA's Alcubierre warp drive goes live. In the vacuum of space, nothing can move faster than the speed of light, but negative energy is used to warp space-time. The space behind the spaceship expands, and the space in front contracts, causing a warp bubble, bending space-time around the spaceship and breaking the speed of light. Mars declares independence from Earth. Humanity is declared a Type 1 civilization. They know how and need to use and store all of the available energy on their planet. The Type 1 civilization controls the weather, the sea currents, the volcanoes, the earthquakes, and has terraforming technologies. Dyson structures are built in orbit to capture the energy from the sun. Generation ships built from super lightweight and self-repairing materials are accelerated to sub-light speeds. Journeys to nearby star systems take place.
Orbital cycles of Earth create a new glacial ice age. Environmental engineering is employed to warm the planet and reduce glacier growth.
Humans develop new colonies at new star systems and immediately begin asteroid mining and the construction of the Dyson structures to capture energy. Dyson structures now surround the sun and distant stars. Humanity achieve Type 2 status, the beginnings of the galactic civilization. As a Type 2 civilization, they are able to use and control the energy of its planetary system and can prevent the death of its own star by injecting fuel into it. Humankind's consciousness is downloaded into a quantum computer core. The Matryoshka brain, a supercomputer using multiple Dyson spheres, drives a simulation for humanity. Humanity is transferred into a simulation to live and travel much further in the galaxy. Swarms of tiny, lightweight robots enter distant star systems and begin construction of various facilities before the arrival of humanity. Human consciousness is transmitted as data to the new star system, where robot bodies are waiting to accept the human consciousness. Robotic bodies are exchanged for biological ones, designed and grown to be suitable for local planetary environments.
Humanity is on course to become a Type 3 galactic scale civilization, needing to use all of the energy available in its galaxy, with technology so advanced that space-time is their playground. At this point, humanity meets another civilization of pure numerical spirits that have been waiting in a colder space outside of the universe.
This holiday at T-Mobile, get an iPhone 12.
Day 217 in the Terra half. It's getting pretty bad out there. Winds are gusting 170 mph. Global temperatures have risen 2 degrees in the last decade. Tsunami swells are wiping out cities. Situation's critical. Just here, trying to survive. Long enough to beat my high score. And it looks like driving it cold. What, are we losing Jenny? You ever get the feeling we're whiling away the hours as disaster looms? Fiddling while Rome burns? We're good on Snow Truth. Some say we've got the tech to right the planet within decades, but what if we can't cool our climate?
Called and I was saying that I'm
I'm going to show you a short video from a creationist purporting to destroy evolution with a simple fact about genetics, except that it's much more simple than fact. And it comes from a channel that pretends to be standing for truth, but is really dedicated to misrepresenting misunderstood misinformation, deliberately deceptively. So let's have a look at the argument being made to see that both the premise and the conclusions are both completely wrong, and then discuss what the simple facts really are.
We were created with what is known as created heterozygosity. And this is easily explained with genetics, which I will prove.
Evolution tells us that we evolved from primates in Africa. Specifically, it's what's called the L node. It's a haplogroup, and that all humans descended from them and spread around the world. Well, the Bible's very different. It says that man was created specifically in the Middle East and in the Fertile Crescent.
Well, what do people look like who live there? Well, they have brown skin. Evolution says that man arose in deep Africa at the L node, which would have made them have black skin, just like all Africans. What does science tell us about skin colors? Well, skin color, or melanin, is governed by multiple genes, and genes come in two pairs. 2 from each parent are inherited, just like letters in the alphabet. Let's look at A and B right now. As genes code for large amounts of melanin, are capital letters A and B. As word lowercase a and b will represent low melanin in the skin, so pale white people. Therefore, black skin races can only carry capital letter genes. Capital A, capital B, capital A, capital B. They can only ever produce more black skinned people. Just like white people, which carry all recessive lowercase gene letters and can only ever produce low amounts of melanin children. So Adam and Eve had to have been brown-skinned people. Therefore, to be able to code all the different skin colors for the people that we see on the earth today. So even simple genetics proves the out-of-Africa theory is wrong and proves that the biblical created heterozygosity model is true.
Okay, now, from the beginning.
So the first argument made here is that all African people are black, which we know there's a huge amount of diversity, genetic diversity, and diversity of skin color with everything in the world as far as skin tones and such, and other features being represented in African populations, depending on where you are. Sure. There are Asian traits, there are European traits. Everything is represented there. And we know that the difference in skin color, like for really dark skin, is a relatively recent occurrence, and it's different in Nigeria than it is in, say, Tamil Nadu. It's a different mutation, and that implies that two different groups on different continents became black by different means. That means they were not black to begin with. That means that we're all brown, and indeed we have a lot of African populations that are in fact mid-tone brown, not all black like you said. But in order to really counter this argument, I mean, I knew that there was some ways that I could counter it myself, but I wanted to turn into experts who I knew would be able to explain this a lot better than I could and could see the nuances that I'm missing, because I don't know all the details about this, but I know someone who does. I've been interviewing a textbook author in biology. He was a star witness in Kitzmiller versus Dover. He understands evolution, and he also is what identifies as a traditional Christian. So we don't have that part of the argument is not part of this argument. So we're just talking about defending evolution and not attacking whether there's a God or not. That's like not even part of the fight in this issue. So Professor Kenneth Miller, PhD, thank you very much for being on again. And we worked on a couple of other projects before, and I'm honored to have you present there. It's great fun to have you on. So what would you say about this argument that's being made here?
Well, the first thing is when I viewed the video for the first time, it's only 2 minutes long. I was astonished that so many biochemical, genetic, and molecular falsehoods could be packed into 2 minutes. So that in itself is an extraordinary achievement. And from the very beginning, and I'm someone who teaches molecular biology and genetics and have been doing so for decades. The first astonishing thing that I saw in the video was the assertion that there are genes that code for melanin. Now, melanin is the human pigment, it's the human skin color pigment. Melanin is not a protein. That means there are no genes that code for it. Melanin is an organic compound that is produced from the amino acid tryptophan by a very complicated series of biochemical reactions, each of which are catalyzed by enzymes. Each of those enzymes does have a gene coding for it, so that's where the genetics comes in. But there are at least 8 of them. And the other thing is that there's a number of regulatory genes that also regulate the expression and the activity of all of those enzymes. So the notion that there is a gene for melanin and white people don't have it, and black people do have it, have a double dose of it, and that's why white people are white and black people are black, and brown people maybe have a little bit of the dominant and recessive gene, to call it genetically naive is almost too kind. It's just flat out wrong.
Well, I certainly had that impression. I wonder if you could explain another thing that it's tangentially related to this. What you're describing is not necessarily entirely due to mutations, because this is also adaptive. So as I understand it, if you have a population of people and they move from, say, Northern Africa to Asia or Europe, they will, over time, invariably, over a number of generations, become lighter skinned. And of course, if they move into some place where the heat is really intense, like Sri Lanka or in Nigeria, then because you need to protect against the intensity of the radiation in the tropical places, and then also your body absorbs vitamin D through the skin. So in Europe, and of course in like places like Mongolia and whatever, you're at a higher latitude, so the sunlight is diffused, harder to absorb, certainly harder to absorb through dark skin. So can you explain what it is about that is adaptive rather than evolutionary, and why people will invariably become that your babies will be born darker after several generations if your family moves to the tropics? Can you explain that?
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, we don't absorb vitamin D through the skin, we make it. And it turns out exposure to sunlight is helpful in a couple of the reactions involved in vitamin D synthesis if you don't get vitamin D in your diet. Therefore, at very high latitudes, where the skin is low, the sun is very low, sunlight is not intense in the winter, having really dark skin is a bit of a disadvantage with respect to vitamin D. In the equatorial regions of the world, there's plenty of sunlight, and having pigmentation to protect against UV damage is advantageous. The key thing here, you mentioned not evolutionary but adaptational. I think a lot of evolutionary biologists would take issue with that, because what mutations do is over time they produce variation in genetics. So within any particular human population, there's enormous historical genetic variability that's already there. So what happens, we think, in populations that migrated out of Africa into the northern regions of Europe, for example, is that those individuals possessing variations that gave them somewhat lighter skin color were in fact more able to cope with that reduced sunlight by synthesizing vitamin D. And similarly, in the very, very bright regions of the world, equatorial regions where there's always high sunlight, those individuals who had a propensity to make a little bit more melanin would then be selected for. So it's a kind of natural selection. It doesn't involve mutation necessarily, because mutation produces the variation that's already there. Mutation produces the variation that's already there, and then environmental conditions act upon that in terms of the successes of various human populations.
And then you can have additions to that. I mean, like when people moved into Europe, for example, they acquired the mutation for lactose tolerance, which worked with their keeping livestock and such. And then a certain subset of the Europeans developed the I forget what the category was, but developing the red hair and the skin that doesn't tan. This was another mutation. Of course, Asians have their own collection of these.
Sure.
It's hard to explain to people when they get a category for what their concept of evolution is, then it wouldn't be predetermined that your family would certainly become darker skinned if you moved into the tropics or vice versa.
Sure. The other thing that's worth noting when you talk about kind of red hair population and people with I have a lot of ancestors from Ireland, although I didn't inherit red hair and extremely pale skin. But there's a version of melanin known as pheomelanin, which is a variation of the biosynthetic pathway. And to some extent, the reason we see so much red hair and very light skin in parts of the British Isles is probably due as much to genetic drift which is to say the founding populations of those island regions, as it is to any adaptation in particular.
So I'm glad we had that explanation. Now, going back to the argument that we were just talking about. Excuse me, I have a huge damn dog who's pounding on a damn door because he knows I'm recording.
Well, lucky for me, my dog is lying here quietly waiting for me to finish.
Just a minute.
Sure.
This dog has been the worst thing for my YouTube channel. He finds some way to force me to rapidly jump to the mute button in every podcast. All right, so on the topic of the video that we were doing, on the topic of the argument that we were just listening to, where you have the double copy of capital letters and double copy of lowercase letters. I mean, I've seen the L0 and L1 and the subsets of the L3 charts, and the person making this argument doesn't seem to realize that everybody everywhere else in the world is a subset of L3.
Sure.
Or what necessarily what that means. So can you please bring your expertise to the table to clarify that part of the argument?
Well, there are a number of ways to trace human migrations, historic human migrations out of Africa. And one of the ways to do that is to look at what are so-called haplotypes. And that's most easily done with mitochondrial DNA. And the reason for that is mitochondrial DNA is inherited from your mom. So, for example, my mitochondrial DNA came from my mother, and hers came from her mother, and hers came from her mother, all the way back. So you can sort of trace these things out. It turns out I belong to group 3, according to 23andMe. I thank them for the assist in analyzing my DNA that way. But what's going on here is that one of the reasons that evolution has concluded that the human race, the human species, first evolved in Africa, in addition to the fossil evidence, is because various subpopulations within the African continent have, compared to each other, the highest degree of genetic diversity of any continent on Earth, much higher than Europe and much higher than Asia. So why does that make sense? Well, if you have a single continent in which the species appears first, and then subpopulations branch off from it, you would have the situation that we have in Africa today, with multiple haplotype populations. Then in prehistoric times, one of those populations might break out, but only one, and end up in Europe. For all the diversification that goes on, it means there's only a subset of human diversity that found its way into Europe, and there's only a subset that found its way into Africa, and then into into Asia, and then into the Americas. So the interesting thing about the haplotypes is the fact that there are multiple haplotypes in Africa, and less haplotypic diversity in the other continents is sort of powerful evidence for the fact that the African continent is the original home of our species. And that's something, of course, that this video doesn't even hint at. What the video actually argues is that evolution proposes that we came out of Africa. The logic for that is then destroyed, the video says, by the fact that Black Africans can only have Black children. So where did white-skinned people come from? And where did brown-skinned people come from? So the argument then is that if we wanted to find out the true origin of the human species, we should find a place on Earth where people are not white, not black, but sort of brown in the middle. And they argue that's the Middle East, in other words, the Garden of Eden, and therefore biblical creation is confirmed. And the argument for that, and I'm sorry to go on and on, but this just absolutely amazed me. The argument for that is that present-day people in the Middle East have a remnant of that created heterozygosity. Now, heterozygosity means that for any individual gene, you have two contrasting alleles. An allele is a version of a gene. So if there are only 2 genes for skin color, that's what the video says, gene A and gene B, someone who is heterozygous would be big A, big B, little b. And presumably, according to the video, that's what Middle Eastern people are today. Now, there's so many things wrong with that, but it's just almost unbelievable. But let me take one that's really simple. If 2 Middle Eastern people married and had children, and their genotypes really were big A, big B, little b, when you do an analysis of the sort that's called a Punnett square, which is an elemental kind of genetic analysis, you find something out. And that is 1 out of every 16 of their children should be big A, big B, which would mean they would be as dark colored as the darkest skinned people in Africa. It would also tell you that 1 out of every 16 children should be little a, little b, according to this video, as pale as the lightest skinned people in Europe. So in other words, in the Middle East, families should occasionally have kids that looked as dark as anyone from Southern Africa and as light as anyone from Finland. Anybody who knows anything about human skin color knows that that simply doesn't happen. So this, incredibly simplistic and highly erroneous view of where human skin color comes from is completely bogus, and it's an argument that is not only flawed and wrong, but is really being stretched to make the argument that our original home is in the Middle East, so it would be congruent with the biblical story of creation. It's just bogus.
So the final argument, though, was that simple genetics, I mean, even very, very simple genetics proves that Adam and Eve, and the thing that reminds me about this, you knew Frank.
Yes, Francis is a very good friend of mine.
I mean, he famously made a comment to the effect, let me see if I might have it here. He admits that anatomically modern humans emerged from primate ancestors long before the Genesis timeframe, and that the story of Adam and Eve doesn't fit the evidence. Now, he was the director of the Human Genome Project. He is a professional geneticist. He's an evangelical Christian. But he's taking the scientific evidence and saying what that. So, can you comment on that? Since I can't get Francis Collins on the show, can you comment just on the argument that proves that that Adam and Eve? Because I'm getting that Adam and Eve were not a thing.
There's a couple of things here. Okay. The first thing is the notion that all present-day humans are descended from a single mating pair that first appeared 6,000 years ago simply does not fit genetic reality. So that sort of mythical version of Adam and Eve clearly is not supported by anything in science, and Francis, who's an evangelical Christian in good standing, agrees with that. So the question then, not just for a Christian, but frankly for a Jew, and frankly for a Muslim as well, since the Quran does make reference to Adam and Eve, is what does the Adam and Eve story mean? And the way in which I read it is the way in which really many people of faith read it, which is an allegorical story that tells us not the scientific history of our species, but rather tells us about the nature of good and evil and of the relationship of the Creator to the world that he created. In other words, what are our rights and duties as individuals in a God-centered universe? Now, the interesting thing, I'm not a Bible scholar, but the biblical scholars I have spoken to have told me that there's good evidence that the book of Genesis was written, of course, not at the beginning of time, but during the Babylonian captivity. And it was a way of distinguishing the Hebrew conception of God from that of the gods of their Babylonian captors. And in that respect, the Adam and Eve story, I think, does a brilliant job. Now, what to make of that? Well, I basically don't take the story literally. I take it to be figuratively true and spiritually true. But I want to tell you there are a number of people, scientists in very good standing, who have thought deeply about this and have tried to reconcile some sort of an Adam and Eve story with the realities of human evolution. And one of those people, I'm going to plug his book, is Joshua Swamidass at Washington University in St. Louis. Josh has a new book that has literally just come out called The Genealogical Adam and Eve. And what he argues in this is that the Adam and Eve story may still be valid, but it may represent, the Adam and Eve may represent a subset of a pre-existing human species that then God spoke to and basically ended up making a genetic contribution to everyone alive today. Now, even before Darwin, even before there's any idea of human evolution, if you read Genesis literally, and you hear that Adam and Eve had sons, Cain and Abel, and somehow they found wives, where exactly did they come from?
That's what I always wondered.
The
Where
other
they come
thing
from?
is the lives of Cain and Abel make reference to a city filled with people.
Yeah.
Who's building a city?
Yeah, the land of the
You only have,
refugees.
a
I always
nuclear
wondered
family
where the
with
fuck
4
is that
people
at?
in the origin. So there were
3 of them boys.
Yeah, so there were serious. There were very serious Christian thinkers as early as the 16th and 17th century who were saying, no, there must have been other people around at the time of Adam and Eve in order for the rest of the book of Genesis to make sense. And Joshua Swamidass has sort of taken that up. There are a couple other people who have tried to reconcile it as well. It's not a project that I'm particularly interested in, but I did want to mention that there are people who have taken this on and have tried to do so in a scientifically respectable way. I have to tell you, though, that's not what we find in this video.
I just have to throw in that, I mean, there was a time when I considered myself a theistic evolutionist, and I had to read Genesis as allegory. I mean, there's certainly the Garden of Eden story. It was obvious metaphor. You know, it was the eating of the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, or eating of the fruit of the tree of eternal life. These are clearly choices to be made. These are, and many other times the Bible makes reference to the fruit of, it's talking about the result of these choices or actions to be taken. It clearly was not 2 trees that you could burn down and you could cut down and burn around the campfire.
Yeah, when I'm approached by fellow Christians who say, well, the Bible has to be literally true. Literally true, it means nothing. I often recite a passage from one of the Psalms that goes, O Lord, thou art my rock and my strength. And then I would say, well, what kind of rock is God? Is he igneous, sedimentary, metamorphic? And they say, well, you're being a pain in the ass, which is true. And they said, well, what does that reference to God being a rock mean? They say it means that God's staying power, his constancy, is that of a rock. And I said, oh, you mean it's an allegory, it's a comparison, it's poetry. It doesn't mean it literally.
It's parables, which is exactly what Jesus spoke in, constantly.
That's right. And the interesting thing about that is that people before the scientific age understood the Bible that way. They really understood it quite well. And it was only with the advent of science in the 19th century, especially in the United States, where the emphasis that the Bible had to be scientifically true, because that was the highest form of truth, that the idea of biblical literalism came into vogue. A theologian in the 13th or 14th century would certainly have appreciated the Bible as poetry and allegory.
I just want to throw in one other thing. I mean, you're in the same fight that I am with regard to people who are denying science in the favor of misinformation, which I find misinformation sources to be the biggest problem the United States is facing, except for climate change, which is also being exacerbated by the misinformation source.
Indeed.
So I don't know if I'm sure you're aware that in 2012, the Republican Party platform in Texas, the Texas version of that, stated that that we oppose critical teaching higher order thinking skills. It actually says we oppose the teaching of higher order thinking skills, which included critical thinking, critical thinking skills, and similar programs that are simply a relabeling of outcome-based education, which focus on behavior modification. Well, I don't know why they said that, and have the purpose of, and this is why they object to it, of challenging a student's fixed beliefs and undermining parental authority. So we have forbidden knowledge.
Oh my fucking God.
Because you're supposed to honor what you're supposed to believe what you're told and not question. They don't want people who understand things. They don't want people who believe blindly.
I may have a bit of good news, and the reason is that I pay close attention to every tweak and modification of the Texas science standards for public education.
Yeah, that shit help out
And
a lot.
the science standards have been up for review this year.
Yeah, because as soon as
And
you
the
turn it
Texas
off,
State
I just
Board of
made my makeup
Education, I think,
really
on
fucking
November
dark. And I was
20th,
like,
it was
oh,
right before
shit.
Thanksgiving, finalized the latest revisions. And they did approve putting climate change into the standards in biological science and in earth science. That's progress.
That is, if I can interject, because up to now,
right,
it's been saying again, not I don't think in the science standards, but specifically in the Republican Party platform. Again, it said that we're going to teach evolution and anthropogenic climate change as questionable theories.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, that can be overturned. That's the way they phrased that.
Even at the State Board of Education, I'm very happy as a scientist and as somebody who's working on a new version of my textbook for Texas that they put climate change in there. However, what they resisted was any attribution of climate change being due to human activity. So that is still a stickling point. And of course, if climate change is not due to human activity, then we humans really shouldn't do anything about it. And I think that's the unfortunate logic of that. The other thing I should mention, and I've told you this before when I've been on, which is I dearly love the state of Texas. And I mean that in all sincerity, not as sarcasm at all. I love going to Texas. One of my disappointments about the current pandemic is I have not been able to attend CAST, which is the Conference for the Advancement of Science Teaching, which is the big state science conference in Texas every year. I've been a regular speaker at CAST in years past, but of course I haven't been able to do it this year, so that's a little bit disappointing. And on reading at least one of the Texas Republican state platforms, at least a few years ago, there was some mention in there of secession. And I got a kick out of that, and I joke with people that I would very much like to see Texas secede from the Union, and here's the reason why. First of all, I've already got my passport, so I'm ready to go. But the other reason is my co-author and I, we actually get higher royalties from our textbooks when they're sold to a foreign country than in the United States. So I was looking forward to an increase in royalty payments if Texas actually did secede.
All right. Well, I think we've covered this argument, and I want to thank you very much. Should I call you professor? Or should I call you doctor? Which is more appropriate?
Well, there's a couple things here. My mother is a retired registered nurse, and she once heard somebody who did not know me call me Dr. Miller, and she was quick to tell them, "Oh, he's not a real doctor." So that was
back in the
long.
studio.
But I'm a professor at Brown University, but I prefer just to be called by my name, which is Ken.
Right, much
I'm a cool
appreciated.
guy. Just call me Ken. Got my thing dirty. Where you wanna go and do that? And do that.
elk. Elk's my favorite.
Well, I don't think I've ever had elk.
It's super nutritious.
So you're
I was
out
in a
stalking
Fishco.
elk.
Just out there hustling, fighting
Off the
to the
garlic
death
cookies.
with swords growing out of its head. If you eat elk, you're literally eating a super athlete.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
So here's Venice Beach. Look at this video. This is, this is very mild in comparison to some of the videos that I've seen.
Yeah.
But there's one from downtown LA that literally so Venice Beach, all the boardwalk, that whole area is now just encampments.
Well, yeah, Wilshire and San Vicente. It's pretty bad,
yeah,
right?
It's terrible. Yeah, I've seen
terrible.
that. Wilshire and San Vicente's bad. Downtown LA is absolutely the worst. Downtown LA is bananas. Thousands and thousands of tents. And I don't know how they're going to put that genie back in the bottle.
Tents
Now
for
you've
what?
got, they're trying to clean up because they're trying to, like, oh, this is a health hazard.
Well, hello,
You've got, like, human
California
shit in the streets. Like, how do we clean this? So they're trying to clean up.
Right.
And now
The homeless
activists
people, they
are
can't come near
stopping them
Venice
from
because it's a
cleaning up.
tourist
Like,
area,
your
so they're
actions
trying to
of
get money.
violence, and they're holding hands and blocking cleanup crews. Like,
But think about how many more people you've just added to the homeless rolls because of all the industries that have been shut down.
Yeah.
And people that can't feed their families.
Yeah.
So that's the hard part. It's like, John, we all know the same people. And I actually, in my heart of hearts, think that they believe that they're helping. That's my belief.
That's cute.
And I disagree with that.
Wholeheartedly. I know that. But I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. That doesn't mean I agree with them or agree with what they're doing in the least. But I will give a shout out to, like, the city of West Hollywood, the mayor, Lindsay Boherbeck, Paul Aravallo. They have been so business friendly. They're trying to help as much as they can. The permits, the ability for me to get my patio up and running, they moved in lightning speed. But I'll give you an example. I got the front patio built. It finished on a Friday, and on Saturday.
It's a restaurant.
That's worthless.
Oh yeah.
So what did I just spend $60,000?
There's no evidence that shows that outdoor dining is contributing significantly to the COVID spread. There's no evidence.
They actually had to admit that finally. In court, the county has no evidence of a nexus between any sort of outbreak with outdoor dining.
And how do they make this arbitrary distinction between outdoor dining and going to Walmart or what they're calling essential? It doesn't make any sense.
There isn't. So the county health officials shut us down, right, for 3 weeks, right around, what was it, Thanksgiving?
Yes.
And some friends of ours took them to court and said, how can you just shut down an industry with no evidence? And they said, oh, we have plenty of evidence. We have 6 studies and blah, 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 blah. And then they actually got to court and they had nothing.
Nothing. All the evidence was from indoor dining.
Not one piece of
And
paper.
they had to admit it.
So when they admit it, then what happens?
No, but now they're appealing it.
Why?
Now they're appealing. By the way,
why?
they've hired an outside counsel.
And you
so
think
they're
these
spending
people
more
have
money.
our best intentions? Come on.
I
These guys.
I'm too nice.
This guy Newsom wants a name for himself, and no one's calling him out, and it's absolutely insane to me.
Okay, here's the number one thing that boggles my mind. You have a problem. We all agree there's an illness. Okay? The rates of hospitalizations are going up, infections are going up, but the rates of death are going down. Okay. So we have an issue. Why not get together as a community and say, you know what? We're going to grab a couple of restaurant people. We're going to grab some doctors in the field and have people that have real world experience, not PhD, not theoretical people that have
That
real
freezes, it's something
experience
about it where
in
it
the
freezes
industry.
half of it,
Grab
and it
them,
does
grab
that
around
to
people
it.
and
Like
say,
I
okay,
don't even
we have this
want to keep
How
freezing
do we
box in that
mitigate
part of the
it?
freezer.
How do
It
we
don't
move
work
forward
right.
smartly? I've never been
That shit is for like a little small ice cream.
doctor that I know in the wide variety of people that I take care of has ever
Bro.
been asked their opinion by the county.
Bro, last night, man, I was on PlayStation Store, bro, because there's this free game I downloaded, Valor or some shit. I downloaded some other free game, but I was looking on the PlayStation Store, it's like, so tempted to buy so much shit, but then I'm like, am I gonna really play these games once I buy them? And I keep thinking about getting a new Call of Duty to run through the storyline. You know, that Cold War storyline shit seems pretty cool. But I don't know what games, yo. And that's the thing, I don't want garbage, even if it's 50% off.
I was struggling like not to buy some shit because I almost got Watch Dogs Legion, but I mean, I'm like, am I gonna play all the way through this right now? You know, and so I just wind up scrolling all the way down to the free games. Yo, who on there right now? Go to the free games, yo. It's something. It's this free game that starts with a V, if I'm not mistaken.
What baby was that?
PlayStation Store.
Why am I losing all my brushes right now? I need that Prince brush.
Exactly. The Watch Dogs is the only thing I really, really looked at, and then, like I say, maybe the Call of Duty. But all right, free to play on PlayStation Store. Fortnite, Just Cause 4, Apex Legends, Vigor, Vigor, Vigor. I got Rogue Company, I got Apex Legends. Both of those are free. Rocket League is free again. I think they made you pay. I don't even play a lot of these free games. Proving Grounds, I had that one. I played that one for a while. They still got H1Z1 on here for free. Black Light wasn't a bad game for free. But Vigor. So I downloaded Vigor last night, and I probably play that once I get out the studio. But Rogue Company was the last free game that I download, and it's not a bad. Yo, Rogue Company is pretty fucking fun, yo. It's pretty fun. Get HIQ Unlimited Ace. A jigsaw puzzle game, I can do that. Let me get that juice out of here, babe. Let me sip this wine. Oh, and then I got juice on top of that. I'll definitely look up a jigsaw puzzle game.
Alright, very natural, very natural.
Well, I want to see a trailer of HRQ.
What's up with them jewels, girl? Can I get into it? Need that. This. Damn, I forgot about this yellow eyeshadow. Let me do that. I need more primer. Ow.
I'm watching it right now. Yo, King, what up, bro?
Alright. This can go back. That can go back.
I might have to get a jigsaw puzzle game. It's free too. Just when you bored, something to do real quick. Put a little puzzle together. I like little puzzles like that.
stuff is so nice.
Hmm?
Ocean.
Oh shit. Gonna overhead light out for a minute. Yeah, we almost at 2.5 hours again. We was in here for about 2 hours earlier today. Ran some errands. I did get a little bit more painting done. Young Pharaoh said you're on the live stream in about 20 minutes. What are you talking about? I might stick around for that.
He probably been streaming for a good couple hours. You know,
If you do a live stream, yeah, this is live stream. Be like mine. My shit be 2-3 hours fucking long. Yeah. Really, most of what left on here is gonna be just black, a lot of black and gray.
Black, blue.
I need some blue on there. Warface, yeah, that was another like army shooter, a free shooter game. That shit was pretty good. I had that. Yeah, matter of fact, I had Warface and Proving Grounds at the same time. I downloaded both of them games for free at the same time. Warface and Proving Grounds. But shit, now I don't have either one of them saved on the dashboard. Couldn't never get nobody to play with them shits, yo. And I be finding free games that be fun like that, man. I be trying to tell everybody, yo, play. It's a free game. Even if you only play it for like a week or two. So what? It was free. And then you can just delete that shit and keep it in your library. Like when I was playing that Road Company, I kept streaming that shit live, trying to get, hopefully somebody will down play that shit with me. Yep. I be on them free games, well, good ones anyway. For the past couple of months, like the games we get, that H1Z1, once again, I'll play that shit, but that shit hard by yourself or playing with some randoms. You need communication in them games, man. You gotta talk, strategize. I be running one way, somebody hop in the truck, drive the fuck off. Like, bro, why you ain't come pick me up, nigga? Now I'm way over here by my damn self getting shot the fuck up. For real? I might have to meet you out there. Like I said, I done had that shit on my game list. Can't never find a squad, yo. I be thinking something to play now since I done beat Cyberpunk. That's why I just downloaded the free game. That shit, I'll download H1. I'll play that shit with you. Now, Warface ain't bad, bro. Not for a free game. That shit ain't bad for a free game, yo. Oh, bruh. I'm about to go download that shit now, man. I'll say that shit in my library. I'm about to do a little photo shoot. So, what this is, day 2 on this canvas right here. I really am slow rolling this underpaint. I ain't gonna lie. But the next section I come in here, like I say, there's just a lot of dark grays, blacks, and blues with the railing on the stairs. So I should be able to knock that out fairly quick. It was really just getting the lines and everything straight. So next time I come here, I should be able to Yo, H1Z1, that shit was on the computer for like 6 years, 7 years ago. And we're probably longer than that. The motherfuckers just kept, slowly working on the PC version of it. And then like a couple years ago, they finally made a console port for that shit. And now we can play it on the console. But that H1Z1, that shit been around for a while, yo. I mean, like King said, man, they got a loyal fan base, like hard body motherfuckers who love that fucking game, yo. Alright, turn all this shit off. That's what I was saying, like this canvas had that little dent in it. But once you put that water on there, and that water dry that shit up and shrink it, that shit will go back together like it should be.
Word.
Alright guys, y'all know what it is. As always, I appreciate y'all company in the studio, bro. Sitting here. Chilling on the chilling. I don't know, man. Hazy, if you in the crib this evening, it's Christmas Eve, nigga. You ain't got no way to go anyway. Stay your ass in the damn house. I'm gonna download that H1. I'm gonna get with you on that shit, man. So if y'all gonna be around this evening, y'all ain't got shit to do, man. Come to the live stream so you can watch me and Hazy bust it up on some motherfucking H1Z1 open world survival zombie apocalypse destruction shit. Anyway, catch y'all next time. Peace.